You're listening to the Welcome to the Rebellion podcast. Hey, Jay, are you ready? Because it's time to start the show.
Everybody give a warm welcome to my guest, the lovely, the toxic, I think I need to say, the toxic, Melonie Mac. Hello.
Hi. I love it. The toxic Melonie Mac. Let's go. I've embraced that title now.
Well, before you came on the show, you put a post and you're eating those buffalo chips. Where you was just like, everybody wants me on their podcast. See, this is all right. So this is where I felt like it was about me. You were like,
No.
everybody wants me on the podcast to talk about toxic, but don't they know I'm the toxic one? I was like, that's what I commented. I was like, don't worry, I won't bring that. Bring that up in the podcast.
It's funny because almost every podcast request I get, except recently, has been from people who just want me to victimize myself. It's like, hey, talk about how hard it is to be a woman in the gaming space, and it's like, or talk about how toxic people are on Xbox Live. And in that video, that's what I said, bro, I'm toxic too.
Yeah, but then like people were like, where did you get those chips?
Those carnivore crisps, man.
Exactly. Where did you get those chips?
They sent me a box. They're amazing.
Did you like them? I actually have some. I've been eating them things for a minute.
They're good. It's just meat. It's meat that's dehydrated and crispy like a chip and salt. So I mean, like, helps me hit my protein macros. I love it.
If you're listening, I'll be a sponsor of the show. Since I eat.
There we go, carnivore crisp.
There it
Sponsor Jay.
That's it. That's how I like. I don't like the beef liver ones. I like.
No, you do. Beef liver is an acquired taste. I don't have that either. Now, chicken liver I really like, but beef liver it's good for you. It has a lot of nutrients, but it doesn't taste that good, in my opinion.
Yeah. What's your favorite out of that?
The brisket one. They're the beef
Which
brisket.
One? Oh, beef brisket. Okay.
Yeah, beef brisket. It is so good. Yeah.
Want to say hi to everyone in the chat. Look at everyone saying hi, Melonie. How
Hi.
are you? Wow, I can't believe Melonie's here. What do you mean you can't believe that? How is that not possible? Some of you might be like, who? I think there was one person that says, no offense, but who is this person? So, all right. So I'm going to give Melonie an opportunity to tell you who she is, if she wants to.
Yeah, I'm very happy to do that. Hi, I am Melonie Mac. I am mostly known for being in the gaming space. I've been making content online for over 12 years, based around mostly gaming and tech, but I kind of like to talk about whatever it is I'm into at the time. And fitness is one of those lately, and just lately like trending topics and things like that. But yeah, mostly known for the stuff I've done in gaming. I used to host for GameStop TV. I've hosted for Riot Games, all kinds of stuff like that. Do gaming streams, all that jazz.
You just went like way over probably what they would know you for. You used to be the host for GameStop TV for a record, I believe. I think you were like the longest host they've ever had.
The longest female host, I think. Now they did have a male host on there. He was on there for a while. I don't know.
Talk about them toxic men, like that. Oh yeah, I have to drink when Mel's on. You have to drink G.
Let's go! Cheers! I love it.
Get your G Fuel and use code Mel for
code Mac.
Code Mel. Yeah, I almost messed it up there.
Hey, I appreciate the effort.
There you go. I just messed it up.
It's all good.
But yes. So for 4 years, you were the host.
Yeah, 4 years. It was really fun. I mean, they were great. They were always really great to me. Yeah.
How does that happen? Did you fill out an application? Did you just show up? Were you playing video games and they contacted you? Like, how does one become the host of GameStop TV?
Well, what happened at that time, a little over 4 years ago, I don't know, going on 5 years ago is when I auditioned. Now the year before they wanted me to audition, they reached out to me, and asked me to audition. I had a current, like, organization that I was working with, and there was a conflict of interest, so I couldn't do it at that time, and I was like, "Crap, really?" Like, and so then a year later, they were looking for more hosts again, and they hit me back up again, and I was like, "Yes, I cannot pass this up." So they asked me to audition. I went, or they flew me out because that was before I moved here to Texas, and I was in California at the time. They flew me out, and a bunch of other people who also were auditioning. And yeah, we had to do like teleprompter reads. We had to do like a gaming quiz at the end. And they also gave a gift card to whoever won the gaming quiz, where they're just asking like different gaming questions and then we would answer them. And I won the gaming quiz. So I was very excited about that. And then was picked to be one of the hosts. And stayed on for 4 years. So it was great.
Did you get to you do a lot of traveling and you did a lot of like Comic Con? Is that gaming
Oh, yeah,
cons? Is
like
that what you
gaming
call it?
conventions?
Yeah.
Yeah, like E3, PAX, Comic-Con, that kind of stuff. Yeah, I mean, I've been going to conventions for a very long time up until uh current events that have stopped gaming
Right.
conventions. So yeah, but up until then, man, I was going every year, or like for like at least 3 cons for like 10 years straight. And it was funny cuz
Ooh.
then yeah, so then at one point, cuz then I was signed with Facebook Gaming at one point, and then I was having to be places all the time for that, because one of the reasons that they signed me was because of my hosting stuff. And so I was just constantly, not only have like minimum hours to hit for streams, but then I'd have to like go to these events and then host and stuff. And after that, I started to get, exhausted from traveling all the time. I'm very introverted. So while I do enjoy it, but when it's constant, it's like, whoo, I need to chill for a little bit. So I said, hey man, I need to one of these, I need to take like a year off conventions. And then sure enough, a certain thing happened. The
We call it the lockdown
the
phase,
lockdown phase,
yeah.
yeah, and I was like, oops, careful what you wish for.
I did not know. That's something I didn't know you were with Facebook Gaming.
Yeah, I was for about 2 years. Yeah.
And so they just wanted you to play your games like
Right.
like what you do now on Twitch, they wanted you to
Mhm.
do on Facebook Live.
Right, and so they signed me and I streamed there for 2 years.
Did
Yeah.
you did that was like early on though for Facebook Gaming like that.
Oh, it was. Yeah, it was like 2018, I think, is when I first signed with them. 2018, yeah, 2018 and 2019. I'm pretty sure was the years that I was with them.
2018. Did you enjoy it?
I did. I mean, I did and I didn't. Like, on one hand, it was fun to kind of be a part of something new, even though it was like, a huge company behind it. It was still new, and um the whole gaming sector of it. And so the people that I worked with there were very nice, and we kind of had like a almost family feeling environment about it. But what I didn't like about it was just, the part of having a new platform and that kind of stuff. And then I feel like the infrastructure of Facebook in general just isn't really built to host like a gaming section in the way that it currently is. And there was a lot of issues with it, and I ended up reaching a point to where I was like, I'm not actually growing my brand as a whole on this platform.
Yeah.
And that was a big issue for me, and why I one of the reasons why I ended up not signing again with them, even though they were great and all that. But it just, as a platform, just isn't where Twitch or even YouTube is.
So
And so
they're not ready in your humble opinion is what you're saying.
right, I just don't feel like, I feel like when it comes to the algorithm and stuff like that, it was so
Mm,
random too. It was like, hey, one day you can stream and have like 5,000 concurrent viewers, and then you can turn your stream on the next day and have 70 viewers. It was like,
mm.
surprise, surprise, what's it going to be today? And then, you know how Facebook is anyway. The bigger amount of followers you get, the more the platform wants you to pay to reach your own followers.
Yeah.
And so that's my biggest platform, which is funny. That was one reason why I got signed, is because it is my biggest platform. But So even before I signed with them, that was by far my biggest platform. But then it's just like, what's the point in having all these followers if Facebook wants me to pay to reach them all? you know?
What is your preferred platform of choice today?
That's hard to say. I think what I actually enjoy the most, I enjoy making YouTube content the most.
Really?
Yeah, I do. I think that YouTube as a platform, though, kind of sucks. There's a ton of issues and it's getting worse and worse. But I think what I remember is just old YouTube. And like I started on YouTube back in the late 2009 or early 2010. And n- I'd say the first 5 years I was making content on YouTube was just so fun. And YouTube was a lot more fun back then. And you could actually like figure stuff out with it didn't feel it, it didn't feel like you had to be like this, everything had to be perfect and super professional and all that. And so I felt like I could just be silly and have fun, and I'd make some of the most random videos, and it didn't all have to make sense. It didn't all have to be like a production. It didn't all have to be like a show. And those were some of my best content creating times. And then sure enough, when the whole adpocalypse thing started to happen, and then YouTube started favoring more professional content, I like the
Yeah.
professionalized stuff. I obviously accommodated my setup now that's more nice than what it used to be. And so I'm still about that, but they kind of forgot about the little guys, and that's what made it not as fun. But in terms of what I actually enjoy the most with platforms, I love just making videos and posting them. That is just super fun to me.
I want to go back to the to being the host and traveling and all that. You constantly mention that you're very introverted.
Oh yeah. You can't tell when I'm in
How
this
like
setting. You can't, because we're like, I don't know. And plus you're also very easy to talk to. I feel like we go way back, even though we really don't, but I feel like we do.
we go way back, everyone. We go way back.
Yeah,
I
yeah, we
have
go
a
way
Melanie
back.
Mac autograph somewhere. I probably um but how does like so for someone that's possibly listening that's introverted themselves, how did you like overcome like that? Did you get sick every time where you because some people are like, oh my God, I gotta go out. I'm gonna be on camera. They're gonna give me a microphone. Like what's gonna happen here? Like or was it just, well, here we go. Like whatever happens, I'm jumping in the deep end and then I'm gonna go back
Yeah.
to my room and cry. I mean, I'm very extroverted. So it's like when I'm
Right.
not around people, it's like when we were locked down for 2 weeks, it was like I gotta see somebody. Like I'm gonna go to my
Yeah.
neighbor's house and just like hug them or something. You know what I mean? Like it's just such different.
Right.
That's why it's perfect. My job is perfect
Oh
to go to
yeah.
the theme parks and stuff and be around millions of people every day. But still, how did you psych yourself up or
It's funny because that's one reason why I started my YouTube channel in the first place, is because I knew I wanted to do stuff like, especially around gaming and that kind of thing. And I wanted to do stuff like in front of camera. I just thought it seemed like super fun. And I started my YouTube channel because at the time, well, way back, I remember like I grew up on military bases and stuff because my dad was in the army. So like the president was in town, the local news crew was there, and so they were interviewing people, and I thought, oh, here's my shot to like try to do something in front of camera. And then they get to me, and I froze. I just completely froze up. I didn't know what to say. I was like, oh hell yeah, having fun, and I was so like nervous. And after that, I thought I got to do something about this. And then also, I don't know if you've heard of the Frag Dolls from like way back, the Ubisoft team.
mm,
But it was like my dream to be on that team. And I remember I also auditioned to be on that like way back, 2006, I believe. And I made it to like a phone interview, and again bombed it. I was so nervous. And then at some point I was like, something's got to give. I got to overcome this shyness. And so I made my YouTube channel, And that helped. And it's funny, if you watch like my very, very, very early videos, especially, you can tell like I didn't know how to act on camera. I couldn't just be myself. I was so nervous. Um, so I did that. Later, I ended up getting an internship with the Frag Dolls. And then became a Frag Doll later. It was just a gradual progression. And but the thing is even now, as long as I think being able to revert to going into autopilot before like a big shoot where you got a big crew and that kind of stuff, usually depending on how used to it I am, if it's a brand new thing, I do get a lot of social anxiety like the day before, especially the night before I'm trying to sleep. I don't even always sleep before a big new thing,
Wow.
and I'm freaking out in my head. Like, I'm like, oh my gosh. But then for some reason, as soon as I'm actually there, the camera's on. The camera's become my friend now. Then it's just like, boom, I'm in autopilot and I do it. And then when I'm done, I'm like, yeah, I feel great. I did it. But I do have social anxiety leading up to certain things if they especially are a new thing to me. Yeah.
So it's something that you still struggle with, though.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I do. But the more familiar I am with it, the more it helps, and that's why, like with events and stuff like that too. If I'm at a gaming event, for example, I've been going to those for so long, and so yeah, I can talk to people and just be myself. But then if you put me in a situation like trying to make friends IRL or people trying to talk to me at church, then I'm like, hi. I'm a different person.
You
I
mean
don't know how to act.
no one's run up to you and like try to get a selfie or an autograph, or like
They
has anybody recognized you and they're like, that's Laura Croft?
at at gaming events I get recognized a lot, but I'm in my comfort zone there. Now out in IRL, I've had on a small handful of occasions, like at a restaurant or at a store or at a grocery store or something. When that happens, they're chill. I'm just like, oh hi, take a picture, say hi, and hug, and then good. Normally in that kind of setting, I'm pretty good because then I feel like if it's somebody who knows me, like, oh, you know me from my social media and stuff. We're
Yeah.
basically family now. So that does make it easier if there's that familiarity. But if it's just like I've tried to push myself even recently, like a couple months or so ago, I went on one of those like apps where you can make friends. and
Really?
yeah, and there was like a hiking group. So it was just like this hiking group of like 30 people, and it wasn't even like gamers or people that would know me. So I show up, nobody knows me, and I'm just trying to like make friends. And I was just so shy. People kept like they're trying to talk to me, trying to get me out of my shell. And I'm walking with them. And then every time someone's like trying to talk to me, I'm thinking in my head, like, let me just walk. This is too much.
So you joined a hiking group
Yeah,
to hike to try to make friends.
I did. I ended up, yeah, I went to that one hike. And after that, it was so overwhelming because whenever they did try to talk to me, these weren't gamers or anything. And I'm like, what do I talk about? Oh man. Like, it's just different. It's a different
It
world.
is. Real quick, I think some people have some questions for you.
All
My man
right.
D-Man, $5 super sticker. Thank you. He's a good dude. Huge fan of yours, by the way. He was like
Oh,
going nuts on Twitter, realizing that you'd be here. Robert, thank you. Just got my birthday gift from my aunt and uncle. It's a robot speaker made. Oh, yeah, Robert, yeah, man. My friend Robert here, his dog passed away the other
oh.
day. So I'm glad things are going well, buddy. Thank you for the super chat. Biggles Mess for 5 says, yeah, drunk. Tell us how toxic it is, but as an oldie but goodie in a world of vicious 6-year-olds in gaming. Listen, we were talking before the stream, and everyone agrees that the younger generation wouldn't survive our old gaming lobbies. They just wouldn't understand. They
They
wouldn't
wouldn't.
understand. And if you didn't learn to either ignore it or dish it back, then you were in a lot of trouble.
Hmm.
You were in a lot of trouble. Did you learn to, like, when you play with your brothers? See, like, you guys dish it pretty well.
Oh gosh, yeah. That's how we talk to each other whether we're gaming or not. It's like we're constantly roasting each other and that's just how we show affection, you know?
That's what yeah, that's what we were saying. It was like you if you play video games with friends and
Mhm.
somebody that doesn't know you shows up and listens to the conversation, they would think you guys will hate each other.
Oh yeah, they
And you're like,
would.
oh, it's poetry of love. What are you talking about?
Yeah, that's like when I visited family one of the last times I was playing Risk with my dad and brothers and the way we were talking to each other, mom's like, "Guys, please don't fight. Please don't fight." We're like, "We're
Yeah,
having
we're not
fun."
fighting. I know. It's so true. DMAC for $20. Thank you, my good friend. He says,
Aw,
I think tonight calls for a white Russian with a splash of G Fuel. Hi, Melanie
let's
Mac. And
go.
hi, Jay. Thank you, my friend. Question for you. Geo for 15. Hey Mel, did you get that mantra tattoo yet? Been a
You're
fan of
a
yours since the
real
King of
one.
the Monster trailer breakdown.
I knew Albert, you didn't even say that because I mentioned that like in passing, once King of the Monsters came out. I didn't even get it yet. I still have to get this filled. But I do want a Mothra tattoo somewhere on this arm because this is my Godzilla and Katakana. So I haven't gotten it yet, but I will one of these days.
So your tattoos are like video game uh
Most of them are
inspired.
like, yeah, the gaming or like in Godzilla in this case.
I know mine's
That
like
now I just
movies,
like owls.
like
Oh, nice.
like movie tattoos,
This is my Lara
things like that.
Croft. She is my prized possession tattoo, my favorite one. So
That's the question. All right, here we go. Yeah, my good friend Yellow Flash just loves sending me wonderful stickers.
that is
Every
so
time I
kind.
try to throw me off my game. All right, trying to throw me off my game.
Oh
Uh,
man.
I see what you're doing, Yellow Flash. I see what you're doing. There are people in the chat. One person named Jane Theory was like she's talking about your she's talking about her anxiety where she almost felt like deleting all of her social media
Aw.
one time. So it's really interesting to see how people like try to overcome that type of fear. Did it get worse? Like a lot of people that aren't online that doesn't have a platform of your size, like
Mhm.
how did you like learn to deal like when you got your first, I don't know what you call it, troll comment or
Right.
hater comment or whatever, like was it like, oh my God? Like what does it get
I
easier throughout the years to deal with people?
I think I get it's a combination of things. Like on one hand, I've gotten a bit more used to it, but on the other, like ever since I was young, I mean, a teenager when I had access to the internet, I was on message boards like arguing with people about video games all the time. So it's just like I was already kind of used to it to that degree, and then also I've always, like I said in that one video, I can be toxic too. And so
Yeah.
I'm used to it. I'm like, okay, bring it on. It's funny because usually, now there have been times where a comment uh may get to me every once in a while, but for the most part, I don't know. I just roll with it. I have fun with it, and I almost sometimes enjoy just kicking the hornet's nest a little bit. It makes it interesting. It's
Yeah.
like, oh,
So
somebody mad at me for existing. Let's go. All right, let's talk.
if you don't follow Melanie on Twitter, uh you've been warned. So
Yes.
there you have it. Just a few more. Valiant Renegade, my good friend for 10. He says, Hail chat, finally managed to catch a drunk 3PO podcast. Well, I appreciate that. And yes, I am seeing a lot of people in the chat. Okay, Eric for 10, it says, I've been subscribed to Melanie since 2012 because of her attitude and her genuine nature. Her content always puts a smile on my face. Like Gina, I knew it was coming. She must be protected. Keep being you,
Aw.
Melanie. Well, you have a lot of fans.
Thank you,
Um,
Eric.
I thought there'd be a lot more like haters in here just to like, you
I'm
know.
waiting, dude. I got my boxing gloves ready.
Jimbo for Fox says Melanie is a huge Gino Carano fan, Jay. You know what to do. What do you mean? Gina who? I don't know what you're talking about. Uh JS Pena for $2. Watching because I enjoyed you on Chrissy's stream,
Thank you.
Melonie.
Love the Godzilla avatar as well.
Thank you all for the super chat love. No, before we went live, Melanie had no idea that I was friends with Gina Carano. So she's not here because of Gina.
Right. I'm here because Jay. Jay
That's it.
is
See,
awesome.
she had no idea. She had no, and I had to like prove it to her. I was like, all right, here's a video of us sitting at dinner.
I'm
you
like,
know,
wait a minute. Wait,
just
and then
had
the
to,
video. Oh, okay.
yeah, I
Okay.
had to pull the card out just because, you just don't go around saying, hey, me and Gina are best buddies. Like you just don't go around saying, you got to have a little proof with that one.
Yeah.
We thought it was cute though, because, when Gina followed you back on social media, you made TikTok, Instagram, like you just you went all in to say,
Yeah.
I'm very happy. Why are you a Gina Carano fan? Like, what is it about? Since everyone's asking, I gotta
Right.
bring her up. I'm sure she's gonna watch and be like,
Yeah.
Jay, why you gotta keep bringing up? I was like, yeah, well,
It's funny because
she loves it. She loves it.
I first saw her from Mandalorian, and that was my for the and I just thought I loved her so much. I thought her character was amazing. I had no idea about anything beyond that. I was just like, wow, she is awesome. And obviously I love very strong femme fatale, gorgeous kick butt type women. I'm a big classic Lara Croft fan. And that's exactly what Gina Carano is. She's stunning, she's gorgeous, and she kicks butt. I mean, that's just perfection to me.
She's all right.
And so I immediately just loved her on The Mandalorian. And so yeah, later obviously seeing all the drama and stuff that followed, yeah, made sure that I made it known that hey, I stand with her because it was a whole
But that,
yeah.
on your recent video, you talked about when you supported Gina that they started to come after your job
Yep.
and everything else. So can you share a little bit about like
Right.
that? I mean, it was
Well,
just from a tweet, right? Like a
it
single.
was. That's what is so crazy about this whole like the cancel crowd and the mob. They are just ruthless. They will look for anything to try to ruin you over, and they're just ridiculous. Um, so I followed Gina after I saw her on The Mandalorian, and I thought she was awesome. Followed her, all that kind of stuff. Well, then I started when all the drama started unfolding and all that, and then she got fired. Um, I can't even remember what interaction I made. I either replied to one of her tweets or I liked it or something and was showing my support. And because of that, some rando hater, I don't even know who the heck they were, they left a reply to me and was like, they thought that they just exposed me. Like I wouldn't want people to know that I openly supported her. Like obviously I follow her. I made that public tweet. Obviously I didn't mind if people knew, but they thought they were just exposing some secret. And so they were like, wow, I can't believe you replied to Gina Carano and you're ruined. That was their exact words, is you're ruined. And they were tagging GameStop. They were posting everywhere. You would have this person as your host who supports Gina Carano and all this. And I'm like, go off, I guess. Waste your time. Because you ain't exposing no secret.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
What? Now you've also been very vocal about the gaming industry
Mhm.
and how make sure I get this correct.
Okay.
How they're taking femininity, is that right?
They're like defeminizing female characters.
Defeminizing,
They
right,
are. They really
characters.
are. And here's the thing: if they want to make new characters and make them however they want to make them, great. That's fine. I like to see variety. That's cool. But when you take an existing character like Lara Croft, very curvy, femme fatale, very feminine, like she was just. Even though probably more in personality, she kind of had a masculine personality in a lot of ways, but there was still a lot of femininity there too, especially with her design. and the way she presented herself. And so to take a character like that who is so iconically, um, this is a woman, like that's even why they designed her that way in the first place, was because especially with the graphics back then, they wanted to exaggerate her features so that when you played the game there was no denying this is all woman here. And so for them to take that and to feel like they have to make her take some of her curves away, and not only that, but they also took away her rebellious personality. And that's where I'm just like, how are you calling this progressive? You take her curves away, and now I feel bad for curvy women because their representation now is just not only not existing that much anymore, but it's also being shamed. Because when you have developers taking a curvy woman like Lara Croft and taking her curves away and saying, yeah, we're heroes of women for doing this, basically, what does that say? What kind of message is that sending to curvy women? Like, that's terrible. And you're seeing it constantly now, and you're constantly seeing these characters get transformed into this mold now. And I'm worried too for Joanna Dark next, because
Mm.
on the concepts, we've seen Joanna Dark in that like one piece like latex skin tight outfit, looking awesome, like that bluish catsuit looking thing going. And yeah, and so now the concept art is jeans and a leather jacket. I mean, that is the approved outfit for women. Not that jeans and a leather jacket are ugly. I wear jeans and leather jackets, but that is like all the women have to wear the same thing now, basically. So seeing that in the concept arts, also Crystal Dynamics is now helping with the new Perfect Dark game, which worries me because Crystal Dynamics are responsible for transforming Lara Croft from the bombshell femme fatale to the girl next door, vulnerable character now. And uh, you know, again, if you make new characters like that, great. But to transform these femme fatales like that, they're my favorite type of character too, and they're just so hard to find now. It's just disappointing.
Was this like your it the woke culture or progressive culture, whatever people want to call it. There's so many names now.
I know.
uh a lot of times people don't see that culture until it affects something that they love. Like for me,
Yep.
it was Star Wars, and all that, and then to see like, whoa, what the heck are they doing? And then you kind of, was that like your first taste of it when when you saw like Laura Croft and you're like, what are they doing?
It, it
Was that kind of like an eye-opening moment, or was this something that you saw building from afar? Or
It absolutely was that with Lara Croft, and seeing that happen, that kind of made me wake up a little bit. Because I mean, when I first started making content online and all that kind of stuff, I was very open about, even on my last video, I posted a little snippet of it where I was like very open about the fact that I didn't identify as a feminist or anything like that, and so I wasn't into all of the woke stuff. And then after I made that video, people were like, but feminism's just equality and you want equality, right? And I'm like, yeah, equality's good, sure. And so they kind of reel you in by thinking, oh, we just care about people. That's it. So I started thinking, oh, okay, well, that's fine. And so I wasn't seeing the toxic side of it at first, because I just thought, oh, okay, let me look into this more. And so then I kind of like started looking into it more. I kind of fell into it a little bit because I thought that they were well intended. And then even with Lara Croft, at first I thought, oh, okay, well, they're rebooting it. This is going to be new. This is going to be different. Let's give it a shot. I was open to it. And then later on, it just hit me, and especially with developer interviews, that's when it really started hitting me. Is because
mm,
developers would make little jabs at classic Lara Croft all the time. They'd say, "Oh yeah, basically, oh, she was just an ice queen, like she didn't have any substance." They would make
really?
comments about, yeah, and then when we talk about, hey, can you give the new Lara, can you give her a shorts? Just give her an outfit that somewhat resembles her classic self, and then we'll be like, that would just be great for the fans to do. Like, what's wrong with the pair of shorts, you know? And they're like, we like I don't remember word for word. So just along the lines of what they said was, we don't put Lara Croft in bikinis anymore, and just like patronizing comments like that and stuff. And then it started. That's when I started to wake up a little bit to it. And what really woke me up to it the most, and what really made woke me up. Well, what really made me more against kind of the woke culture is when I started seeing how they come after people and that they try to
Mm.
ruin people's lives over anything, over something they said 10 years ago, or over anything, or over any nuanced opinion. That's when I thought, okay, these aren't good people. These are bullies who are pretending to be virtuous. And there is this guy in the industry who he's not in the industry anymore. He got kicked out and canceled from the industry. Now, some people can recover from an attempted cancellation, like myself, but he didn't have that opportunity because was a big guy, and it made it easier to paint him out to be some villain because he's a big guy, and he can, if you don't know him, you could say, oh, he's a big scary guy. There's nothing scary about the guy. He was a giant sweetheart. And the thing is, though, is socially there was something there. I don't know, I can't diagnose him, but socially he was a little off on certain things, and he didn't understand certain boundaries. That said, he'd never done anything crazy, but sometimes, you know, he'd like kind of follow some of us around and things like that. But we knew he was harmless. We knew he was a good guy, and he was kind-hearted, and he just wanted friends. And sure enough, someone came after him, tried to cancel him, had this giant campaign after him. He used to do like freelance journalism and stuff like that. He got kicked out of ever working in the industry, banned from all PAX events. That was just
Jeez.
his life. And that's what upset me so much, is because I know that he lived for that. It was just his everything to be able to go and enjoy these events. And because he didn't quite understand boundaries. Now, and this is what makes me upset, is if she would have expressed to him and said, hey, I've got work to do right now, don't follow me, he would have respected it. I've known this guy
Mm.
for like 12 years. I've constantly worked with him, and then a bunch of other girls who've also worked with him, we all agreed and tried to stand up for him, that like, hey, just express your boundaries and he'll listen. But he doesn't understand the social cues unless you let him know. And so this giant cancel campaign came after him. A bunch of these male feminists came after him, who didn't even know him, and said terrible things. And just seeing uh, his whole world crumble, seeing it just how everything he loved and everything that was such a huge part of his life just crumbled and be taken away from him forever, because he can't he can't stand up for himself in the same way. He looks like the big scary guy compared to the little innocent. And
This was
it
someone that
was
worked with you,
devastating.
or just
Well, I didn't work with me, but like he was like a colleague. But like
oh,
he
okay, okay, it
he
was a
was a
colleague. Yeah.
journalist. He'd
Okay,
write
okay.
freelance for different gaming journalist things.
And now
And
it's
now he's been gone for
bye.
years because of that cancel. And that's what made me realize how big of a bully they really are. And they'll do that for clout. They will throw
Yeah.
people under the bus and ruin their entire life for clout. And in this situation, I saw so many people, and this went pretty viral. So thousands of people just saying terrible things to him and treating him like he was some kind of monster when he wasn't. And it was heartbreaking to see. And I thought, dude, how do I know this guy ain't gonna do something terrible, because this is his whole world. And I was like, I'm not gonna sit back and watch this happen and not stand up for him, and him do something unthinkable, because he just had his whole world just taken from him. So yeah, I that was then the mob started coming after me a bit after that. But then the Quartering made a video about it, that too.
Yes. Okay, that's what I was thinking. Yes. When the Quartering made a video
Oh
on
yeah,
you about a journalist that was trying to have you removed. But
because I
these
was
are the
standing
same
up for him.
these are the same people that are like, we need women to be in the
Right?
forefront. We need women, justice for women. Believe all women, but cancel this one here. She don't know what she's talking about. Like, get rid of this one right here. She runs her mouth a little too much. Like we need
Yep.
women that don't talk, that don't tweet, that just say yes, yes, sir, no, sir. That's the
Mm.
women we want to support. At least that's how
That's
it
your
echoes.
You're right. That's exactly right. And that's the thing is a lot of these male feminist allies, they call themselves allies. First of all, a ton of them are predators. Okay. I would not trust one. I would no way. Now if any, not to say there aren't any good male feminist allies, but if someone identifies as a male feminist ally, you bet I ain't gonna try to be anywhere alone with them because a lot of them are just incognito predators, and they also want to pretend like they're a part of this movement when in reality it's just they want to control, and that's
Uh
their way of getting in.
so many women in the chat cheering you on. Based Melonie is like, that's going on real quick. Just a couple more super chats. JC Pena for $2. Nice to see a fellow G fan as
Yes,
well.
Godzilla.
Let's see. Dex for $5. Laura Croft was such a sex symbol that they put her in a Playboy back in the day.
Actually, let me correct that. I am
That's true.
I am like the dictionary for Tomb Raider. They did not put her in Playboy. They wanted to, and the developers opted out of it. But they did want to put her in there. I wouldn't have personally had a problem with it, but no, she wasn't. Now, Rain from Blood Rain, she was. But yeah.
I didn't even know that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Big O says Jay's a big scary man. I He's my friend. I'm 6'4", till I am. I'm a big guy.
Okay.
So,
Yeah. Yeah.
even though on camera I look, I don't look that big, but
Well, and that's what's scary about it is that someone who like knowing that the cancel crowd will believe they will believe a lot of people based on appearances as well. So say someone were to try to cancel you and you didn't even do anything wrong, but if she were a small little helpless girl and portrayed herself as a little helpless and oh this big scary man, then they're going to side with her. And it's sad because it's not, you can't look at appearances. You have to look at context and you have to look at the situation and you have to look at what people are saying who have had the same interactions. And what made me so frustrated about it at the time too is I even the person who came after him and who started this in the first place, I told her, I said, that socially there's some sort of disorder or something there. You know that. And she said, yeah, I do know that. And I'm like, how can you acknowledge that and still try to cancel this guy? You
yeah,
just admitted that
because they can't be wrong.
it's like, wow. Also,
Yeah,
how and when what it looks like to the outside people was there's this small little helpless girl and this big scary man. But what it really was she wasn't picking on someone her own size, even though physically, yes, but not in other areas socially. And so that was extremely unfair. Yeah, it
do you
was.
do you think they don't pick on you as much because they know Melonie will fight back? Like, I see the women that are in my chat. I know some of them really well, and they, the trolls or whatever you want to call them would go after them on social media, and these girls will drop kick them back in the face like pretty quick, to the point where instead of having a conversation with them, they like you said, they'll block and move on. Because the
Well,
free speech is not free anymore. It's like you can't
mhm.
say what you're feeling about, and it just seems like these past 2 years have really been like, wow, like they really want you to shut up about many issues, and it goes from one issue to the next, to this and to that. And for you who have been in the gaming world, has it escalated, or is this just something new? Like, this group of people have taken over parts of the gaming industry, and they just want to push it this progressive way. And if you're in their way, then they don't want anything to do with you. Is that where we are? Do you think we'll ever get away from that?
It's the latter, because like when I first got in the gaming industry, it wasn't like that at all. Now there were still other separate issues, and then especially when you look at some of the higher ups within certain companies and stuff, there's a lot of corruption and just like with Hollywood, for example. Gaming industry and Hollywood are very, very similar and becoming even more similar. As you know, Hollywood is extremely corrupt, and the gaming industry is continually becoming more corrupt. And I think that's one reason why the virtue signaling is louder than ever, because it's more corrupt than ever and they're hiding it. But also, I do think that a lot of the gaming industry has been hijacked by a lot of people who are either brand new and pushing this woke movement, or who maybe have some skeletons in their closet and they feel like, oh, if I'm all woke now, that can distract from some of my own issues. And that's
Ooh.
ultimately what seems to have happened. And a lot of people that I've seen in the industry who have just jumped on the woke train because they found that they were gaining from it, gaining attention from it. Then I've seen them get exposed for some pretty unspeakable things that would get you deplatformed to even talk about that they've done to people.
Wow.
And yeah, I've seen that. And it's like, oh, okay, that's very telling. Now, what that really says is, for a lot of people who virtue signal the loudest, they probably have the most skeletons in their closet. Not always. I do think that a lot of people are bamboozled into the movement. But a lot of the really
Have you
corrupt people too.
have you had like close friends just say, I can't associate with you anymore?
Yeah.
Because see, that's when you see people on, like, when you see people on Twitter or wherever on social media, and they're just like, well, I'm no longer talking to my family because they're going to vote this way, or I'm no longer,
Yes.
and it's like, really? Like, do you really believe that? Or are you just like waving a big red flag here? Like, and it's, and you also have these people that come out too, and they're saying, listen, it's Thanksgiving time, and you might have to come face to face with this person who supports this, and this is what you have to do, or maybe just don't go anymore and just stay home and don't be with your family. And it's like, you really took the time to write that out? Like, really? Like, you took the, and you start to see the destruction of, like, it's like the destruction, like, this is even deeper than video games. It's like the
Right.
destruction of family,
Yeah.
and the separation of it's just like family, just like separate everybody, keep everybody locked away, and unless you support what we want you to support.
Yeah,
So
it's
it's
terrible. It's I what I really feel like is, anyone who's like familiar with the Bible, for example, and the Pharisees and Jesus calling them out all the time.
mm,
The woke crowd and the mob, I very much liken them to, they're just modern day Pharisees essentially. And so they feel self-righteous by believing in the way that they do. And if anybody else it does not follow along with that, then they push them away and they absolutely, like, are extremely judgmental. I mean, it goes along with what the Bible says is when Jesus said, "Those without sin grab the first stone." I mean, that's how it should be when you really think about it, but they don't think that way.
no, real quick, Dimash and I thank you for the $2. This is what got me was me
Mass
Andromeda.
Effect Mass Effect
Oh,
Andromeda made
massive,
women ugly. Yeah, so what happened was, like,
made
on
women
Mass Effect
ugly. Mm.
Andromeda, yeah, they made the guys, like, mega hot, and then they made the women, like, not nearly as pretty as their actual models. It was like they purposefully made them uglier than their models, but the men got to be hot. For I guess for some
But
reason,
that is
that's
that equality? Like that?
it's not. That's what I don't understand. It's like, wait, I can't play as a hot girl. I can play as a hot guy, but I can't play as a hot girl. That's not fair. you know?
I just you just wonder how long this will last when people will just be like, I'm not gonna play your games anymore. Like, I'm gonna go back to, classic Nintendo
Yeah.
and play some Tech Mobile. Radio, an awesome, awesome Twitch streamer. Haven't known her for long, but I adore this woman.
Aw,
She's the kind that I'm more than happy to have my daughters watch and look up to, and my oldest does.
that's so sweet. Oh my gosh.
You
Thank
sure about
you.
that, Radio? I'm just saying, like, no, no.
Yeah.
She likes the Steelers. Like, she's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. I didn't want to like throw that card out there, but she's a Pittsburgh Steelers fan. Um, I'm Florida, so I'm all things Miami, and I we can't talk about my football team ever because they're the worst. They're terrible. Thank you for the dollar. Thank you for the dollar super chat. A couple more. X Wing, thank you for the 5. I really appreciate it. I appreciate the support. Um, I don't know if I could read all of that
Yeah.
on, but thank you for the super chat. I get what you're saying though. I get what you're
Yeah,
saying, man.
yeah.
Yeah, people usually end up blocking. And Lulu, much love to you, Lulu. Thank you for the $10. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys for the support today. Now everyone's roasting me for Miami Dolphins. It's
Hey,
awful.
you're not a Jaguars or a Jets fan, so you're not at the way bottom. You're just almost there.
We haven't been relevant since Ace Ventura. So
Yeah.
yeah, and here
But
we
I
go.
mean, y'all
Yep,
were like the
there
only
we
team
go.
who could
Nice.
beat the Dynasty Patriots, though. So that's something you had
That
going for you.
that was our Super Bowl. It's like,
It
we
was.
know we're not making the playoffs. We know, they'll mess it up later and they'll get rid of our best players. So if we can beat the Patriots, we're partying, man. We're celebrating. We're doing our whole thing, and it's like there was a slimmer of hope that we were gonna get Tom Brady back then. And I was like, don't give us hope, man. Don't give the Dolphins hope. It's just that's not who we
Aw.
are. So, you know, now you're getting football questions. The good Tom King for $2. What would you think about the Steelers with Rodgers?
It's funny because I've actually been saying for months now. I'm like, we need Aaron Rodgers. Let's go. I'm ready.
So you'd welcome Aaron Rodgers to
Oh
the
yeah,
Steelers.
I would. And it's funny because if you actually look at the past, from like his commercials and stuff, because he has like that dry humor or whatever. And I used to like make jokes about him all the time negatively on Twitter all the time. I was just like, Aaron Rodgers is such a jerk. Aaron Rodgers is such a jerk. Then I'm like, oh wait, we need a quarterback. Let's get Aaron Rodgers.
Wow.
Yeah,
Is
fun
it true like
time.
the Steelers Q he retired? He's
Oh yeah,
done?
Ben's done.
Roethlisberger?
He was amazing, and I have so many great memories, especially with the those 2 Super Bowls. Man, me getting to enjoy those as a Steelers fan, I'm forever
All right,
grateful.
hold on
And
a second. Kurt Warner is a Christian. All right. He beat a Christian in the Super Bowl. You're not supposed to cheer for that. All right.
Ben Roethlisberger's a Christian too. That's why he points up to the
All right.
sky.
So let me tell you
Yeah,
about
and he's
Ben
number
Roethlisberger.
7.
All right. I have a Ben Roethlisberger story that proves
Okay.
he's not a Christian. No, no, no. No,
Oh.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. He was in Orlando visiting, and there's a golf course that's out here called Champions Gate. It's Champions Gate. It's a really, really ritzy golf course. And every now and then, I had a friend that works over there, and he's like, "Hey, man, there's no one here. Like, you can come play golf." So it's like, okay, cool.
Mhm.
So we were going out there, and we were like, they were all ready to play golf. And it's like, well, you can't go out there now. Why? Ben Roethlisberger showed up. And I'm like, what does that mean? Well, he demands a private, like he doesn't want anyone within like 6 hole or something like that. Anyway, he wants it like a private
Right.
course. And I was like, what? Like, man, forget that, man. I'm here to play.
Football
Ben
players can be
Roethlisberger.
a little bit of divas
That's why I
sometimes.
know he's not. Nah, it's just like that. That's my only. It's not even a great story, but it was kind of weird. It was like, can I see him? Like, what does he
I
look like?
I think the only answer here is to cancel him. Let's get our campaign
I
started.
canceled him from that. I like left a worded letter. Like that's what I wrote a letter while I was waiting, and as a Dolphin fan, it was my duty,
Yeah.
just to yell like you suck, just randomly. I probably didn't hear it. Um, I was looking for his car, didn't see it. What was I gonna do? Nothing, but still, I would have pointed angrily. That's what we do. That's what we do. Anyway, couple more. Don't get me on the tangent of football. Melonie is a great Twitch streamer. I'm a new fan. Kaylee's awesome. Oh, Kaylee, nice hat. I see it in
Thank you,
Avatar.
Kaylee.
Kaylee's freaking awesome. Everybody needs a Kaylee in their life. She always shares everyone's like streams and
Aw.
everything on her social media. Thank you for the $10. It's Jesus. Jesus has made it with a
Yay!
Spider-Man mask. I love it. Hey, Seuss, good guy. Good guy. Dr. Rachel Lindbergh, another outspoken, strong female, gives a super sticker. And yeah, she hates the fact that they're making women look like men
Mhm.
in everything. You two make a cute couple. You should ask her out. Thanks. Thanks for embarrassing me on my podcast. Appreciate it. Thanks for the $2. You knew I had to read it, so you sent it that way. Um, what do you? Let's see. Hold on a second. Is this a football question? What do you think of Malik Willis
Oh,
or Sam Howell? And I am related to Ben through his
he was
wife's side of the family. Are
oh,
you really, Wicked Steel? Wow.
that's awesome. I will admit I'm not very familiar with Malik Willis or Sam Howell, so I can't really go off on that. But right now I'm hoping for Aaron Rodgers. Otherwise, let's see what else is out there.
But you still watch. I mean, you'll watch the Super Bowl, and
Oh yeah, I always watch
who are you
football.
cheering for?
This is very blasphemous in a way, but who day, man, going for the Bengals here, even though they're in our division. But here's the thing. I feel like most football fans, you got your teams that you hate in your division, and there's normally like that one team in your division that you're kind of cool with them. You're like, okay, I don't hate you as much as I hate like the Browns or the Ravens. And also, it's like it's an AFC team. I feel like when it comes to the Super Bowl, I usually feel unless like one of
Go
my
for the
family
AFC.
members, yeah, I gotta go for AFC, man. So yeah, AFC North represent. Let's go.
People
Who
are
day?
freaking out. It's a woman that likes football and video games and speaks up. Like, what more could you ask for, right? That's everyone is saying, oh dear God, they're embarrassing me. Anyway. I
I
was
can't
asked.
see chat, so that
Thank
might maybe
God.
that'll make you less
Thanks. See,
embarrassed.
God
Yeah.
is he's always working with me here. So um the interesting comment that you brought up Jesus. Oh, I see the little puppy just
Yeah.
strolled all in.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you follow Melonie on all her social media, she lives in a zoo and with cats and dogs and
I have a cat
everything.
and a dog and two gerbils.
There you go. That's right. No
Now,
fish.
well, not right now. Like currently, this this
Not
is
right.
this is this is my pet situation. I have a cat, a dog, and two gerbils. Now, uh, you know, before when I was in a relationship, there were more pets, and when the split ups happen, the fur babies you have to divide them. These are what I'm left with.
There you have there you have it. Um, yeah, I'm trying to bring. All right, the dog distracted me. There you go. You brought up Jesus and the Pharisees. I'm
Mhm.
always reminded when I see this stuff on Twitter that there's such a powerful verse in Matthew where Jesus was just slamming these people, these religious rulers,
Mhm.
basically saying, you put so much heavy weight on these people that they can't even bear burden. It's like we see that today with this type of culture where they just like, we want you got to be like this, you got to be like
Right.
this, you got to be like this. If you want to be successful, you got to be like this. You can't be this, you can't be this, you can't do that. You got to be perfect. You got to have that. You got to have your pronouns in your bio. You got to have this check. I mean, it's like a nonstop, like it never
Yep.
ends.
Yep.
It like never ends. And even Jesus called this stuff out. But a
Oh yeah.
question that I usually ask everyone is what was your biggest, what would you say, like, in this career of yours, what was like, did you have like a big wow moment where you were just like, wow, this is really cool, like where
Mhm.
you could like almost a lot. I say this, and sorry I'm rambling just a tad, but I say this because a lot of creators that are on YouTube, and I'm kind of new to this whole YouTube thing, but a lot of creators, they never get a chance to sit back and enjoy because there's always the next day. It's like, oh,
Right.
I made a video, or I went to an event, or I went to this. It's like you never stop working in this life, in this type
Right.
of world that we're in. because you're going back on Twitch, you're going to play the next game, this is going to
Mhm.
come out, you got to make the next video, you got to do this, you got to make the next appearance, et cetera, et cetera. And so sometimes it's hard to sit back and go, okay, that was really cool. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
did you have a moment where it was just like, wow, this is really amazing, where you
It
could
it
just be,
was it was at first, especially, like, when I first, like, got my foot in the door, and that was when I got my internship with the Frag Dolls at the time, back in 2010. Um, I was working at a bank, I was a bank teller, I enjoyed it, it was fun, but, it wasn't what I wanted to do forever, and so,
you were a
what
bank tell sorry, I didn't mean to
Yes.
interrupt. Could you imagine going to the bank and seeing Melanie Mac and she like, how would you like this check cashed, sir? Uh
Yeah,
sorry,
so
sorry, continue.
I
Forgive
was
me.
a bank teller, and so then when I got that internship, then I got to go to my very first gaming convention, which was PAX East 2010, and one of my all time favorite video game series is Splinter Cell, and so that was the game I was assigned to, and basically my job there was to teach people how to play the demo that we had set up there,
You taught
and
people how to play video games?
yeah, I mean, but when people at the convention would walk by and be like, "Oh, what's this?" I'm like,
Oh,
"Oh, this
okay,
is Splinter
okay.
Cell. Here's the multiplayer setup. This is the buttons. This is how you do this. This is how you do that." And then I would tell them all the like talking points or the selling points of the game and that kind of stuff. And so it was just that I was just like, "Wow, this is a dream come true, man!" Like I'm getting to help promote one of my favorite game series ever, and so it felt like just a dream. And there's still times depending on the project that I'm working on and stuff that I'll get that feeling again. And like if I get to do something with a game that I've just been a fan of for a long time or something, then it hits me like that as well. And when I've gotten to do stuff with Tomb Raider and things like that, it's like, oh my gosh, wow. Even though I have a lot of criticisms about current Tomb Raider, but still, even so, being getting to be a part of whatever it may be for like promoting or being at an event and or getting to play early or something like that, it's like, wow, this is I still get really excited.
That's
Yeah.
see, that's awesome. Now with that, was there a moment like did you have like a really low moment that you had to and the reason I ask this is because I know a lot of people listening are in that
Right.
they might be in that low moment in life, and it's
Mhm.
like during this career time, did you ever hit like where you might have felt like it was kind of rock bottom, where you just had to like
Oh, yeah.
take a deep breath, and how did you work yourself like through that?
It's happened multiple times. The first time I feel like that happened was back in, like, 2015. That's when, YouTube did that whole adpocalypse and stuff. My channel got hit extremely hard. I went from, like that my channel was growing so rapidly, and then that algorithm change, adpocalypse, and then just boom, it just stopped. And I was so worried about it, freaking out about it. I was like, "Oh no, what do I do from here?" And I felt like I was starting over, and I was so discouraged because I was on like a good trajectory, and then boom, and stuff like that can happen at any time, and anytime you have to worry about numbers and staying relevant, and it can be stressful. And so what I had to learn to do was take a step back. Um, and not put as much focus on that kind of stuff. But then also at one of my lowest moments in my career was last summer when they tried to cancel me because I made a tweet saying that I support choice with people's bodies and the
Hmm.
mandates. I'm against the mandates. And I talked about that in my video I uploaded today a bit, but I lost so many friends, people I thought were my friends or colleagues in the gaming industry who just threw me under the bus and said absolutely terrible, terrible things I would never say to somebody. Saying that to me all for some internet points because they wanted to make me look like the bad guy because I'm against mandates. And that was very difficult. It almost broke me. I didn't express that because I'm not going to
Wow.
let the mob know that they affected me like that. And so I didn't at that time. And and what I didn't realize though is at the time I felt like, oh my gosh, and that I didn't know if I was gonna never be able to work in the industry again and all this kind of stuff. And right now, honestly, since I have been outspoken, I still don't know. Am I going to get brand deals anymore? Am I going to get new sponsors? Am I going to be able to work with these game companies anymore? Or but because I'm not parroting the narrative, are they not going to want to work with me anymore? And you know what? That might be a reality, but at any rate, it's worth it to speak out and to not feel like you have to be silenced. And so for me, that was just kind of that low, one of the lowest moments, for me, for when I felt like I felt like I was losing everything. I was like, everything
Mm,
I've worked so hard for is going to be gone, just because I tried to show some support to people, and by being against these mandates, and by supporting choice. And um it was very difficult, but what it ended up doing was it ended up showing me a lot more great people out there who aren't so judgmental, and who aren't so forceful of forcing their narrative on everybody else. And even if they're not big names in the industry, that doesn't matter. People are people, you know. And because of all this that's went down, I've been able to use my voice now more than ever. And I feel at some point when you're like, what have I got to lose now?
yeah.
You know, I might as well just be me, because what have I got to lose? I already like lost all those colleagues and people I thought were my friends. And you know what? Am I alive? Am I okay? Yeah. You know what? I'm honestly better for it, because they weren't really my friends if they would treat me like that. So the toilet flushed itself, man. You know,
Yeah, indeed.
that's just the way you got to look at it, is that the people who are there for you, they'll be there for you, and they'll show up for you. And it showed me who was really there for me, and who was just either there for clout, or who was just quick to throw me under the bus because they thought they could get some clout for it. But it ended up being one of the best things ever, because now I'm enjoying content, like making content, and more than I have in like a decade. And it's like I can be myself now. I don't have to worry about stuff. I don't have to worry about people not liking me, because the ones who already like turned their back on me already did it anyway. It's like, but I've also made a bunch of new friends, and have gotten a lot of more people since I'm using my voice now. It makes me more authentic. And in the end, that makes people
Yeah.
want to watch me more. People don't want to watch fake people.
No.
And when everyone's parroting this whole woke narrative, most of that is fake. If I'm being honest, most of it is keeping up appearances. So when you're surrounded by a ton of fakeness, when you see someone who's being genuine, and you see, oh, here's a flawed human being who is being genuine, who can be toxic sometimes, you know, hey, that's cool. You know, it's just it turned out it turned out to work out for the good. And I'm very glad at how things unfolded, because I would much rather be in the position I'm in now than where I was before, when I felt like I had to be silenced.
I think it's all right from an outsider looking in. We were talking before the stream, before it started too, and I always felt it. I thought it was always weird that like our paths never cross, because it seems
Right.
like we follow all the same people.
Hmm.
And you were just like it's almost like you took some time, and now you're like, all right, this is the new this is the new Melanie Man. I'm gonna
This
speak
is
my
me.
mind. Like this is
It-
who I am. I don't care. And now it seems like your stock is starting like to pick up. Like everybody's asking you for interviews now. You know, I bothered you for
yeah.
like months, you know. I was like, I'm not trying to be weird here, but hey.
I'm excited, because for years there, I felt like I couldn't use my voice at all. And so when you're trying to be a content creator, which relies so heavily on your personality, but you can't even express your personality without fear of the mob, then it's not gratifying at all. I was so burned out. I didn't even know what direction I was going in. I was like, what am I even
Mm,
doing? It felt like a chore. And and finally, whenever it got to the point to where I was like, hey, I'm losing my voice, or I'm using my voice now. And if I lose people along the way, so be it. Now that I can actually be myself, and for some people, they're like, wow, who's this new you? It's like, this isn't a new me. This is just, I'm expressing myself now. And before, I felt like I had to be quiet. And you'd see like little pieces of it before. But
yeah.
now, hey, I ain't worried about anything
Just
anymore.
let it fly.
Yeah.
My mods in the chat, can you make sure that this is Melanie Mac's
Yes.
new YouTube channel called Melanie Mac Go Boom. And her first video was just like she just let it all out, everyone. Like she just
Mhm.
let it all out. So if you could find this mods and put this in
Yeah,
the
I
chat
can't make a
and
custom URL for it yet because it's a new channel. I have to wait a month. So I have it linked on my Linktree. Also, if the mods, that I'm sure they might be able to post a link there. It's on my social media. I shared it, but
and
yes.
everything else is in the description. Her Twitch channel, her other YouTube, everything is you could find it
Yay.
there as well. So you guys can just follow her on all accounts. Let me just get through some of these embarrassing things real quick. Yeah, wait, are we shipping these two now? Thank you for the $2 super chat. Appreciate it. I apologize for anyway. Codenomics for 5. I don't care about women that like football and video games. I like women who like pew pew and who think I'm cute. Low standards, high rewards. They just be yourself, man. Just be yourself. Sorry, I put you on the spot. She should ask you out. So, thank you for the $2. I'm sorry, Melanie. I don't understand. And someone that you know is in the chat. I see Anna, that Star Wars girl, is in the chat.
Yay.
And she's literally saying, "Show us your feet." I'm sorry about that. Anyway, D, thank you for the $10 super sticker. Appreciate it. Also, Soul for 5. He says, "As my T-shirt I'm wearing says, always be yourself. Unless you could be Batman, then always be Batman."
That is true. It's a very
Uh,
good point.
that's a pretty. Uh, I'd like to be Batman for a day. I mean,
Yeah.
who knows? Would you like to be Batman for a day?
I would. I would. I 1000% would.
Here's Matt. Melanie, are you aware of Friday Night Tights? Would you consider going on their show? Thanks for promoting somebody else's show on my show.
The real
Um,
question is, would you consider watching me on there on I don't know, March 25th? That's the real question.
are you gonna be on
Maybe.
March 25th, Friday Night Tights? Seems like X-Ray Girl probably already got a hold of you to
Yeah,
put you on the show. Well, I
I'm
got to hear
excited.
first, everyone, okay? Does that count for anything? No. They're all my friends over there. So
Mhm.
they're good people. Anna says she was talking to me about. All right, this podcast has really gotten way out of hand. Thank you, chat, for making. As you could tell, nothing makes Melanie uncomfortable. She's dealt with trolls, cancellations,
Yeah.
um, for some years now. So, that's how it is. Hold on, let me address something. Wow, Jay's getting jealous. Absolutely not. It's just a joke. Everyone calm down. Everyone calm down. Gary and all them over there they're some of my best friends. So don't that's how internet stuff gets started, people. That's how internet stuff gets.
I can already Jeremy the quartering, he's already making his video now.
I know he's gonna say how much he hates me.
The
Like that's just
drama.
how it is. Um, it's just, and that's funny how like we were talking about Jeremy the quartering too. How people didn't want you to be his friend or
No,
associate with them. And see, it's so weird. It's like people nowadays, they tell you, I know what's best for you, Melanie. You shouldn't hang out with this person.
right?
You shouldn't do this. Don't drink that. Don't do this. I know what's best for you. So listen to me. You don't need to have an opinion because I know what's best for you. It seems like that's
It is.
uh
And what it is the mob wants to control every facet of your life. They want to choose what not only what you think and what you say, but they want to choose who you associate with and everything. And if at any point you have you go off that path at all whatsoever, then they want to try to ruin your reputation. It's absolutely manipulation. If they can't
hmm.
control you, then they want to control how other people see you, and it's just terrible.
So what, speaking of motivation, what is your motivation?
Oh
Like what, do
man.
you have one?
Uh
Obviously, you're trying to create
these
something with
days,
your brand and
Yeah, I mean, now it's just like, I'm gonna be honest, now I just feel like I get to be myself, I get to troll a little bit, I get to like share my opinions, I get to be me, I get to just have fun. And I feel like I've been silenced for so long that now my motivation is like, I can talk now. Wow, all right, let's go. Like the doors are open. I'm excited for this. This sounds fun. And yeah, it's just
All right,
I
here's
don't
a
just yeah.
us just having enjoying it now.
I'm
Enjoying
enjoying
life.
exactly, that's it. My motivation now is that I'm
So
actually having fun now, you know?
that's man, that's worth more than gold. Trust me,
Mhm.
people. I was telling Melanie, I was like, I get paid to go to theme parks, so it's like if you ever hear me complaining about life, it's like, hey Jay, maybe you need to shut up. So it's like I'm enjoying that. Let me ask you, this is a switch. You are really big into fitness right now. You
Mhm.
love showing your abs off on
Yep.
your social media. So fellas, there you go. There's a tip for you. Um, but yeah, I mean, you work hard for those abs. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you're working hard. Do you wonder why health and fitness has not been a discussion in this entire pandemic era that we're living in?
I swear, just to bring it up even, you get called a terrible person, and I'm constantly I've lost friends for that. It's like
Really? Wow.
and I'm not even and here's my what I don't understand is I don't even have a controversial stance on that. I'm just like, health should be encouraged. Yes. Also, if you're not healthy or if you're obese or something, it's not entirely your fault because the current guidelines are wrong. And so I even like there is no fat shaming to be had here because I know that the way that current guidelines are and teaching people just simple calorie counting instead of going into detail with macros and all that kind of stuff is it sets people up for failure. So do I think that
Mm,
a lot of people who are obese and unhealthy is it their fault? For a lot of them it's not because they don't know what to do. Like they really
mm,
don't know what to do because whatever they're taught to do doesn't work. And if you're just taught calorie counting and you're eating the good foods and the addicting foods and the tasty foods that have no nutritional value, then you're going to be hungry because your body wants nutrients. And so that just sets people up for a binge eating disorder, honestly. Um so it's yeah, I'm just like not only should we should all be encouraging good health. And for me to actually have lost friends over that, over posting pictures and telling people, hey, here's what's working for me and here's some things I suggest, that makes some people very angry.
okay, well, this is all I'm saying. If you just for context for people, if you follow Melanie, I'll just throw out Instagram, whatever. Every day she posts her meals, and it's a big bowl of shrimp and hamburger and meat and chicken,
Yep.
and
I eat meat. That's
that's
like
it.
just a meat-based diet. That's almost all I eat is just beef, chicken, shrimp, as long as it's fish or some sort of meat. There we go.
And so, do you have a lot of people saying, "You better eat your vegetables, young lady"?
Yes. And that's one thing that and this is another issue I have with the whole misinformation thing because technically my entire diet is misinformation. It goes against everything I've been taught. Like I mean, and when I first tried it over 2 years ago, my mom's like, "No vegetables, be careful." Like she was terrified, and I tried it anyway. I have endometriosis, and so it's something I've lived with my whole life that's just been debilitating. Ever since puberty, it was just debilitating. And so I saw somewhere online or on a group where this woman said that this helped her. So I was like, I'm going to try it. And so I did that. I ate nothing but meat and eggs. And sure enough, it took a couple months or so for my hormones to regulate. But all of a sudden, I'm talking at least an 80% improvement. And my quality of life is just
Mm.
phenomenally better than it used to be. And I'm the healthiest I've ever been. I used to be almost completely vegetarian and I was completely vegan for a period of time. I never felt sicker. Um
Wow!
yeah. And so now
Don't
here
say
I
that out
am.
loud. Sorry,
I
go ahead.
I'm sorry.
No, no, I was just kidding. Like that'll get you canceled number 7.
Hey,
So
if
there it
somebody,
is.
hey, if it works, if somebody is like living and thriving as a vegetarian, good for you. But I'm just saying, for me, no. And so when I switched over to a full meat based diet, I don't even eat vegetables now, except on extremely rare occasion. I could run laps around myself at 16. I'm 35 now. It's just like this is truly an amazing way of eating that is great. And I'm in these groups that have like 30,000 members in it, and people have been eating this way for like 20 years, just thriving. And um and it's just like technically this is considered misinformation, but why am I in the best health of my life ever since I started it? That's just one of those things.
That's and that again, that's the thing. As soon as you said 35, everyone freaks out. So there, there you go. So
I'm
she must be
telling you,
doing
it
something
works.
right. Yeah, must be doing something right. So, all right. So now I fear for your DMs. Meat eater, football watcher, video game player, showing abs on your social media. So I don't envy your DMs. So that's I can only imagine the kind of fun stuff that you have to deal with on a regular basis,
Yeah.
including someone like me that was entertaining. I was very respectful, by the way, just so y'all know.
You're
Um,
always cool. You're
yeah,
always cool.
exactly. Very, very
Yeah.
respectful.
Yeah.
Uh, great. Everyone's freaking out. Um, but you feel better? You lost a lot of weight?
Well,
You feel more
I never really had a weight problem, so
that's
that
what I
wasn't
thought,
it.
like, you
It was
never
Yeah,
but
but that's the thing
still.
is I used to be more what you call like skinny fat a little bit, where I had almost no muscle, and I was still skinny, but I was a little squishy and stuff. And so I could not put on muscle to save my life until I changed my nutrition. And then over the past year I've put on at least 10 pounds of muscle, even though like physically I'm smaller, but I way more because I've actually built a lot of muscle. And yeah, I feel better than ever. I feel
Do you
great.
enjoy going to the gym?
I love it. I absolutely love it. It gives me a break from my pets. My pets are very clingy. I love them so much, but sometimes I'm like, I gotta go to the gym. I gotta need some space. Uh, so yeah, it's fun. It's my yeah. I'm like I said, I'm very introverted, so I don't actually leave my house for much, and so the gym is one of those things though. And since I also work from home, then when I'm disconnected completely and I'm just there at the gym, that I don't have to think about work, I don't have to think about any stress.
Yeah.
I can just lift some weights.
I'm sorry, but your gym, it's got that old, like, high school clock in the back wherever you take those
Oh,
photos,
in the locker
and I'm
room,
just
yeah.
like, "Is that like the YMCA?" Like, wherever you go. No,
Right.
I think it's very motivating that you are constantly just saying, "This is who I am," and you can do it, and you can, you could change your life and feel
Mhm.
good about yourself. And I'm sure there's people listening, like, what you have any advice for them that are like, maybe how do I even get started? How do I find the right diet? Like what would you say to them?
The biggest
That
thing I can stress, obviously, I'm very I encourage animal protein, animal fats above anything else. But the way that I really break it down for people is macros matter more than calories ever could, because macros all are different. You can literally die of starvation with a belly full of protein. So when you're factoring in your macros, or if you're just counting calories and you're not getting like it's just simple deduction here. Make protein your biggest food source, especially animal protein, because plant proteins we don't absorb the same. So animal protein needs to be your absolute like priority. Okay. And there's different calculators you can look at online, or you can hit me up on Twitter or something. I constantly go off about this. Um, yeah, prioritize protein. I eat 130 grams of protein a day, and for reference, I weigh about 115, 120 pounds. So that's more than my body weight in grams of protein. Um, I make that my top priority. And then carbs are my lowest priority, because carbs are the only non essential macronutrient. Now, for different people, there's a varying level of what works good for them and what doesn't. For me, it's almost no carbs, but hey, some people might feel better with a little more. Um, and then just fats and carbs are energy. Protein is strength. Don't even worry about limiting protein at all. Fats and carbs are what you have to monitor. And fats are essential and carbs aren't. So do what you will with that.
I mean, like my thing is, see, that's a lot of information for me. I'd be like, well, just start walking around the house.
I mean, even that helps.
Like, don't come for me for like I walk around the theme parks. I walk like 6 miles, like
Yeah,
recording stuff, but
that's
they do have
good.
they do got nice ice cream there. That's the problem. So, but still, yeah, oh, Krista Nova is here, just screaming your name. Another
Yay,
one. Yeah, I think you follow
hi.
her on Twitter.
I
She's
do.
she's awesome. She's also part of Geeks and Gamers, and we play a lot of Twitch games together. Everyone
Nice.
in the chat is like, Melanie, can you teach Jay to play Mario Kart? Mario Kart, like you're not on the Nintendo side too much of
It
things.
depends. It depends. I like Fire Emblem. When it comes to Nintendo, Fire Emblem is my jam.
Mm,
Mario Kart. Now Smash Bros. Yeah, Smash Bros. I'm all about. So I could kick your butt in Smash Bros.
I agree. See, I could play Fortnite for 35, 40 hours without a
Right.
problem, and I could dominate anybody.
Hmm.
I like dominating like the eighth graders, just like, oh
Nice.
yeah, okay, here we go. Anyway, but then like when it comes to Nintendo games, I don't know why either my thumbs just don't understand the controller mechanics properly or what. I'm terrible. I am awful. Like they only have me on because they want to laugh at how poorly I play Mario Kart. It's like
That's
I'm like dead
great.
last. And Vara Dark, another female
Oh,
outspoken
hi! I love
gamer.
her.
Isn't she the best?
I agree with her there. Fortnite does suck.
I can't win with these women, everyone. You see,
I
I'm
used
I'm
to really love
I'm
it though.
feeling attacked. All
I
right.
I think I'm just burnt out of it is why I say it sucks now, but I did used to really enjoy it.
Thank you, D, for I'm feeling attacked on my own. This is that. Vara's like, all right, you know what, Vara?
Ratio.
I normally don't play these during the podcast recording, but because you're here and you made a statement, let's just tell the world how you really feel about it.
3PO, he's so great. I love him.
All right, I just wanted to like play that just to get that out. All right, so there we are. Oh, this is Frank. How are you, Frank? This is Chrissy Meyer's manager. Is that okay to say?
Nice.
Awesome stream, loving the interviews, Jay. Curious if Melanie has the same feelings as Chrissy. Oh, please, come on. They're really like they're really getting on me today. All right. The question is, does Melanie have the same feelings as Chrissy about adults going to Disney World? Like, what do you think about Disney World and going to Disney World? Do you think it's like crazy people do that, or is it something that you would do?
It wouldn't be my first choice. Now they're on special occasions every once in a while. Now people who go to Disney every single week for entertainment, like voluntarily, uh, I can't relate to them.
Well, you don't live here. Like it's different.
Well,
Oh my
I don't
God, here
know.
it
Even
comes.
when I was
Let
in
it.
California though,
Okay,
Disneyland, I was like, wait, people go here every single week?
just let it out. It's all right. They do. I'm one of
Yeah,
them, unfortunately.
but hey, you
Apparently,
get paid to be there. You at least
it's
got some sort of
a little
excuse.
different. Uh, Here is the president and CEO of Geeks and Gamers, who never comes in my live streams, just to come in to tell me that Fortnite is trash. Even though I can carry almost 100 people watching my live streams playing Fortnite there, Mr. Jeremy. So yeah, I'm so sorry, Melanie. This has turned into something like Vara's 100. Everyone, I hope you're doing okay. Christopher Arcella for $5. I see you have a Gamerhead Tomb Raider statue back there, Melanie. I have one on the left. I need to get others.
Yes. Yeah, I love the Tomb Raider 3 one is my favorite where she's got that Nevada outfit. It's my absolute favorite Lara Croft outfit of all time.
What was about Laura that you fell in love with?
Yeah, like
What
when
was
I
it?
was young, when I was like a kid, preteen, um I, I think just for me is see, we had Samus and stuff, but I wasn't really into Metroid until later. And so for me, whenever I did play Tomb Raider, that was like my first experience with like a femme fatale character. And I always loved like those bombshell looking characters anyway. When I remember when I was a little kid, like seeing, I wasn't allowed to watch the movie, but the Jessica Rabbit design, I remember thinking, oh, she's so pretty. Like I just thought she was so pretty, and I loved that. I just and so with Lara Croft, it was a similar thing. And I think what's funny about it is some people want to act like, oh, well, kids play this, and so what? Kids don't look at it like that. Kids look at it as like, oh, she's pretty, it's innocent. And so that's how I looked at Lara Croft. I was just like, oh, she's so pretty, and oh my gosh, she kicks butt, this is amazing. And I was just obsessed right off the bat. She was just my hero.
Mara says those pointy Laura boobs, that's what she fell in love with.
Yeah,
Laura,
yeah, those like PS1 pointy
my
polygons.
goodness. Thank you, Laura, for blessing me with your presence here. Anyway, other than Laura Croft, what's been your favorite video game to play right
uh
now?
oh, right now I've been back in
Or,
World of
or
Warcraft,
all time? Like, do you have
unfortunately.
like one? Do you have like an all
Oh, like my
timer?
favorite series though. I mean, I like Tomb Raider. I like Splinter Cell. I really like Devil May Cry series a whole lot. I really like Fire Emblem. Horizon Zero Dawn of the newer stuff. I really loved that, so I'm excited for Forbidden West. I mean, I kind of have a little bit of criticisms about certain things, but I ultimately am really excited for it. So, I mean, yeah, that's kind of the basics.
Did you like The Last of Us 2?
I didn't even play it, dude. I am not. No, I refuse.
I just had to ask.
You don't do my guy Joel like that. No.
Just
Mm-mm.
had to. You are growing in our fellowship community each day with these amazing answers. Most disappointed game that you played?
Oh
Not
god.
one that you just completely avoided, but you were like, "Oh, this looks awesome," and then you're like, "Well, that was kind of a big letdown."
Ah. I don't even know, because I feel like with a lot of games, if I'm really looking forward to them and then I'll see something on them and be like, maybe I'm not, or it turned out to kind of bomb, then I don't even really try it. If it just, yeah. So, man, off the top of my head, putting me on the spot there, I can't really come up with
Okay,
something. Yeah.
there has to have been a few, right? Like you.
I mean, there's been I remember one of that's when I started looking online more for videos and stuff, and actually watching gameplay more and reviews. Once I bought this, it was some like Wii game, like some Sims game for the Wii or something of that nature. And I remember I bought that, dude. I was working at Best Buy at that time. Wasn't making that much money at all. So I was just so happy I could buy a game, right? And so I bought that game, and it was trash. It was so bad. And I was like, man, I don't get to afford games that often, and I buy a game and this is such
Yeah,
garbage. So
yeah,
that has happened. I
that's
learned
not
my
good.
lesson after that. So that's when I start watching videos and
Would you
things
ever
like
be open to I don't like playing with people like on their Twitch channel, like team games
yeah,
that you enjoy? I
yeah.
don't know if you've ever done that in the past. So like
Yeah,
that's like
I have some, but not a whole lot. Just because, like I said, I am introverted, so usually just organizing something like that. If somebody will come to me and say, "Hey, we got this thing planned, you want to join us?" Yeah, but do I normally organize those myself? I'm a little, I get a little apprehensive of that kind. It's not my comfort zone. It's not my
right.
specialty. But actually, just, oh, okay, someone just playing this awesome fun game night, let's go. Yeah, I'll join. Yeah.
What can we expect to see from you in the all
Yeah.
right, I wasn't asking for myself. I knew the chat was gonna start saying that. What do we expect from you in the future? Like what can people expect now that you're gonna
Yeah.
get more subscribers and stuff? You're just gonna just they're just gonna see Melanie having fun right now, right?
Yeah,
Is
you're
that
gonna see
it?
me
Or
having fun. You're gonna see me working on my abs. I got like starting the 4 pack, but I'm gonna work on that 6 pack. So that's about to happen. Um, And then with my new channel, Melonie Mac Go Boom, I'm excited about that because this is like a lot of my, for those who follow me on Twitter and you see a lot of my hot takes or discussions about current events that are going on and things like that. Like now I can actually bring this to video and I can actually dive in and talk a lot more about them. And so that channel is what I have a lot of plans for moving forward, for sure.
That's awesome. And we talked about, and this will be it because I know some people, they're really interested. What does your faith mean to you?
Everything. And
Yeah.
that's the thing is I grew up in a Christian household, and so it was always a huge part of my life. But then for, life happens to you and sometimes bad things happen, and what I ended up coping with that in an unhealthy way, and I rebelled against my faith for a couple years or so, and completely tried walking away from it even. And and then later, I came back to it, and then I realized, and when I look back, I think, dude, even during that time where I felt like, where I was being rebellious and where I was saying things I wish I didn't say, God didn't ever take his hand off me. I get emotional even saying it, but
Mm,
but when I look back, I can see where God still was protecting me and taking care of me, even when I wasn't where I was supposed to be. And that's another thing, is I think no, one big reason why I have so many issues with the whole woke culture, cancel culture, woke mob, all that kind of stuff is my faith is I feel like is a good parallel for that. You look at Jesus culture, and with Jesus culture, it's like, hey, we're all imperfect, and it's through Jesus' sacrifice that we are made whole, and we're made righteous through his blood. And that's such a much more beautiful message to send to people, and it's a much more welcoming message for people when it's like, hey, we accept people we know you're not perfect, and we know we're not perfect, and we're still like, we can still be family. And when you parallel that to the woke culture, that's, wait, you said this 10 years ago, be gone. Like
yeah.
it's a big stark difference, and that's why it shows that Jesus culture is the way.
Yeah, see, I always like people, I look at that story like the two sons, like some people call it the prodigal son.
Mhm.
And it's crazy to think that a lot of people end up becoming what we call the older brother.
Yeah.
And the prodigal son, we know the story. He goes off, he wastes all his money, lives a life that, he shouldn't be living. And then he drags himself back to his father saying, just make me a servant. Like, I'm not worthy to be your son. And his dad, loved on him and hugged on him. And then you have the older brother who was like, man, I'm not hugging that guy. Look what he
Mhm.
did. Like, I should be the one with the party. I should be the one that did this. I'm the one that's doing everything right. I'm the one that's doing, and it's amazing how sometimes people, they had a prodigal experience, but then
Mhm.
they flip to that older brother mentality,
Oh, yeah.
and it's like, nah, you got to remember, it's not about you. It's not about you. it's
Mhm.
it's like it's never been. So
That's
and
right.
even in a lot of that woke culture stuff too, it's like they make it so much about themselves,
Yep.
where it's like, all right, I'm gonna share something here that most people might not know.
Okay.
This is the theme park woke culture. It's kind of funny. It's kind of funny, so we can all laugh.
Okay.
There is a movement going on in this theme park woke culture, whatever you want to call it, where they're getting mad at theme parks for not building, uh not fat shaming anyone, but bigger seats because they can't
Oh,
fit in the ride anymore.
right.
And like this person is like, I used to be able to fit, but now I'm older, and yeah, I want to enjoy life, so I want to enjoy and it's just like, it's all about
I know.
it's
Why
all
is it?
about inward. Listen, I'm 6 foot
Yeah.
4, right? I'm
Right.
255. There's some rides like I can't fit in. I'm just too tall.
Mhm.
It's like, what am I gonna do? Go there and be like, I'm gonna petition that they tear this down
Right.
immediately and make it so tall people can fit with ease.
Yeah.
And
And
so,
and
it's all this inward
It's
thinking that pushes. You don't think like I do. So
Mhm.
because you don't think like I do, I don't want you around my world. This is the world that I'm building. And
Right.
it's so crazy that
Very self-centered. Yeah. And ultimately, if everybody is just focusing on themselves, then you're never going to be able to please everybody because you can't have a spotlight on every single person 24/7. It's just not going to happen. And so there's going to be times where you have to say, okay, well, this isn't for me. That's like people who keep saying every game needs an easy mode so I can play it. No, it maybe that ain't for you. Too hard. Good thing there's a crap ton of other games you can play that you can handle. Like, stop expecting absolutely everything to have to cater to you. Like, that ain't life.
I
It's
need
not
an easy mode
practical.
on Mario Kart. That's all. I need a game genie. Where the heck is that game genie in today's? No, you're absolutely right. I'm gonna read a few more super chats,
All
Melanie,
right.
and thank you so much for your time. And then I'll tell everyone where you can find her.
All right.
My man D again for 2484. That's an interesting number. She must have never gotten a Figment popcorn bucket. That's a theme park joke where
Oh, okay.
people waited in line 10 hours to get a $25 popcorn bucket at Disney World.
Wow. Okay.
It's a whole nother conversation. Robert for 5. Don't worry, Jay. My little niece loves watching you with me. If you need her to protect you, she will. With everyone teaming, you be blessed. Nah, man, it's all love, man. This is how friends talk to each other. They try to
Mhm.
rattle me. They try to tear me down. They try to talk. It's like, and it's all done in the
Yeah.
most love ever. This one's for you from Vampire Slayer 83. Melanie, have you ever played
Oh.
Bacon? Did I say that right?
Yeah, Biking, I
Yeah,
think. In Guilty Gear
Viking.
Strive, I haven't played her yet. I haven't even played Guilty Gear Strive in a couple months. I'm an
Nice.
Axel main, but I would totally be down to try her. I love her design in this one.
Have you watched any of the tournaments that were over the
I
weekend?
haven't. I need to get back into that, man. Guilty Gear is like that. Guilty Gear Strive is the one thing with fighting games. I'm not always into a lot of them, but Guilty Gear Strive is just so good. So good.
Jay, play some Team Fortress 2. I dare you. What is that?
Bringing
Is
it
that
back.
that's
Bringing it
pretty
back. Did
that's
you
an
ever
older
play
game?
TF2? It's on
I've never
Steam.
played that
It's
game.
yeah, it's a Valve game. I mean, yeah, it's like Overwatch was definitely heavily inspired by Team Fortress 2. Yeah, with
So
the
right
different
now on my
classes you get to
Twitch,
play and
I'm the number one Twitch streamer when it comes to lawnmower simulator. I don't know why. They love when I
wow.
watch. Yeah, I put on like a trucker hat and I cut grass and everyone fills in to hear and I just tell redneck stories. I don't know why they like that, but they just do. And so
That's
everyone's like,
amazing.
"Yeah, you're the number one lawnmower simulator." I was like, "Who makes a game?" I saw that. I'm like, "Who makes a game where you cut grass?" Obviously they do. And obviously people want to watch you play it.
Yeah, there's a power wash simulator now too and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah.
somebody bought that for me. That's coming next. That's I can only imagine. Michael for $7 says, "Hey Jay, Melanie, you're a real trooper. Streaming for 4 hours and watching the Pro Bowl. That game was straight trash."
It was fun to watch them having fun, but the game itself wasn't that engaging. The chat, we were on a tangent about all kinds of stuff. It was a good time.
D DMAC again for 5. Jay still said he can't get on the Paradont fly. Oh, it's a kiddie ride. This is not a theme park discussion here. It's a kiddie ride. No, I can't get on it, and no, I'm not gonna try. uh, Code for $2. Bring back Kiss My Grass. That's the name of my lawnmower company. So
Nice.
that's it. Well, that's
I
it.
love
That's
it.
yeah. Oh, dude, please don't ever watch. It's
Oh,
before you. All
man.
right, since everyone's asking, this is. I'll show you a little teaser trailer.
Professional lawn mowing. It's what we do at Kiss My Grass.
This is Kiss My Grass company, and this is my first job. I'm doing great. Oh shoot. Am I supposed to cut this whole thing? Oh shoot. Should be all right. I'm getting the hang of it. Oh fart. God dang it. Sorry, sir. I kind of ran over your plants.
We take cleanliness seriously and value your satisfaction.
The look on Melonie's face backstage while that was playing, and that's only half the clip. She was just like, it was disgust and horror.
No, I was confused a little bit. I really like the Krispy Kreme hat.
Yes.
I'm like, what am I watching?
I'm so sorry.
That was great. That was great.
Yeah, that's we won't watch anymore. Play the clip, Jay, and wish Melonie the best. Yeah, I played the clip. All right, is everybody happy? All right, I'm gonna end this disaster. Thank you for being on, Melonie. You can find everything Melonie Mac in the description. Please subscribe to her channels, follow her on Twitch, Twitter, and her brand new YouTube channel. It's all gonna be there. So check her out. If you could just hang on just 1 second while I play the outro, that will be great. Until next time, everyone, thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for listening. We hope you were inspired today. Don't forget to rate, subscribe, and leave a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. We really appreciate it. We'll catch you in the next episode. And welcome to the Rebellion.